What's good, fuckers? I am the almighty fucking MassaCreature, and this is going to be a video in which I juxtapose pleasure and happiness. First off, I want to give credit to the magnificent Mister Morgue for inspiring me to make this video. I was watching his video series on happiness, and as he's taught me, pleasure and happiness are not the same thing. How is that so? Let's put it this way. Have you ever been depressed? Do you know what it feels like? You ever notice that when you're depressed, if you do something that's pleasurable to the body or the mind, you still feel depressed? Because things that bring you pleasure don't have the capability to cure depression. They may bring you pleasure, but they don't bring you happiness. But what is pleasure and what is happiness? Pleasure is something that feels good in the moment. It's enjoyable, physical or mental stimulation. It doesn't have to be sexual, as long as it's enjoyable at all. Sure, it can be sexual, it can be a blowjob, it can be an orgasm. It also can be something that pleases you mentally, like a compliment. But what is happiness? Well, just like Mister Morgue says, happiness is a deep satisfaction with life. And where does that come from? How do we get any kind of satisfaction with life? Let's start with pleasure before we get more into happiness, shall we? This is going to be a subjective video, so I intend to tell you all the different things that bring me pleasure in life. I can't speak for anyone else. Maybe what brings me pleasure is what brings you happiness, and what brings me happiness is what brings you pleasure. So I'm only going to speak on my own behalf. Starting with pleasure. Compliments on my looks give me pleasure. Calling me handsome, cute, hot, sexy, whatever, etc. is flattering to me. And it's enough to make me blush and make me smile. Yeah, that was rather girly of me to say, but you know what, I'm an appreciative guy, so go spank yourself with a spatula. Looking outside on a rainy day brings me pleasure, whether it be during the rain or after the rain. Seeing roads paved with rainwater is pleasing to me. Seeing a sky cloaked in gray is pleasing to me. Looking outside on a sunny day is pleasing to me too, whether it's in the morning, the afternoon, or the evening. Regardless of the amount of clouds in the sky. The sky could be scattered with clouds or not have a single cloud in the sky. If I see the radiant sun glimmering upon the grass and invoking the rich green hue of the grass and the leaves, I'm engulfed in pleasure. I just love nature. I love the outside. There's no such thing as bad weather to me. There are only different kinds. I love the aggression of a storm, and I love the tranquility of a gentle breeze. It's fucking beautiful. If I weren't so lazy, I'd take random walks outside more often to enjoy the weather, but of course I'm too busy sitting at my fucking Cthulhu blessed computer. My favorite weather is snow. I love looking upon a world of white. I love looking at the world when it's just covered in fucking white. I love a white overcast, and I love a white field. I hate it when I see footprints in the snow. I love an undisturbed fucking ground of snow. If you step in my snow, I will have to fucking beat your ass. Let's see, what else? Food brings me pleasure. Steak, pizza, quesadillas, chicken soup, omelets with peppers and mushrooms, green bean casserole, lemon and herb chicken helper, chocolate ice cream with Oreos, peanut butter and Nutella, whatever. I am a food enthusiast. Watching TV brings me pleasure. I love Family Guy, American Dad, Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Aqua Unit Patrol Squad 1, Robot Chicken, Super Jail, Metalocalypse, Moral Oral, King of the Hill, Beavis and Butthead, The Walking Dead, Lost, Looney Tunes, SpongeBob, and any movie I think is good. Playing video games gives me pleasure. I love my Super Nintendo with every fiber of my being. I've had it since I was 4, and I'd rather roll around in broken glass than give it up. Unfortunately, it doesn't bring me happiness, because I found myself feeling depressed playing Super Mario World before, as regrettable as that is. Those are just a few examples of some things that bring me pleasure. Now into happiness. This is where the distinction comes in. If something brings me happiness, it's impossible for me to be depressed when I'm undergoing an experience involving that something, whereas it is possible for me to be depressed and eat a fucking peanut butter and Nutella or watch American Dad. If something brings me pleasure, there's a chance that it won't bring me pleasure at certain times. Maybe sometimes I'll find pleasure in getting a compliment on my looks, but If I'm depressed, getting a compliment won't do shit. Pleasure only really works if I have happiness prior to the pleasing stimulus. Things that make me happy beyond all recall include, let's see, coffee. This shit runs through my fucking veins. If you cut me open, you're not gonna see blood shoot from my arteries. It's gonna be coffee. It's what pumps through my veins. It has me pissing clear all fucking day long. I don't get hyper from all the caffeine either. I actually get really chill. Without it, I'm really lazy and inattentive. I feel like my eyelids weigh 500 fucking tons if I don't have caffeine in my system. I have coffee with me whenever I listen to music, read my messages, watch videos, read books, or write shit. It's just my wingman. It's the fuel in my engine, and without it, I just wouldn't be able to function as properly. It tastes so fucking good. I've never tasted anything so good in my life. No food or beverage tastes as good as this shit right here. But of course, I have to have something in it. I need sugar in my coffee. I also prefer creamer. I accept whole milk or even half and half, but I personally love flavor creamer more than anything. My favorite coffee creamers include peppermint mocha, pumpkin spice, and cinnamon sugar cookie. I know, it's pretty fucking gay. Black coffee is tolerable depending on the quality, but coffee with creamer and sugar is just my preference. It just puts me in the best mood. I'm never in a bad mood when I have coffee. It's ridiculous. I'm always in a really inspired and creative mood whenever coffee is involved. Basically, if you ever bought me coffee, I would love you forever. It doesn't matter if it's ground coffee. It doesn't matter if it's coffee that's already brewed, like if it's from Starbucks or some shit. Another thing that makes me happy. This is probably the thing that makes me happier more than anything in this world. Music. You think I'm bullshitting. You think it's just a generic thing that makes everyone happy. I wouldn't be who I am without music. And not just any one genre or subgenre. It all depends on the band or the specific source of the music, like if it's from a video game or a TV show or just an individual band. Anything can sound good to me. I currently have 2,419 songs on my iTunes. It's still in the process of increasing. When I'm listening to music, I feel like I'm ascending onto a higher plane. I feel like I'm being summoned into another dimension. I feel like nothing can hurt me. I feel like everything is the way it's meant to be. I feel like I have nowhere to go but here. I feel like I have a purpose. I feel like I have value. I feel like I'm more than myself. I feel invincible. I eat, drink, and breathe music. I would die for music, and I live for music. Whenever people ask me what I want to do with my life, I always say, I want to be a metal vocalist. Who the fuck ever says that? I personally have never heard someone tell me they want to live life on a stage screaming their lyrics to a crowd of metalheads. I've never heard someone tell me they want to see the world through the window of a tour bus. I've never heard someone tell me they hope to use their art and their creations to inspire the world to have faith in themselves. I do. Whenever I listen to my favorite artists like Solution 45, I just feel so fucking thankful to be alive. I'm so fucking thankful to be alive at a time in history when these guys exist, and to have the hearing to enable me to absorb their sound waves into my mind. I perceive an omnipresent beauty in the world whenever I'm being enveloped into the musical realm of my favorite artists. Everything becomes sheer perfection. Fantasy becomes reality, and dreams become truth. I walk through the grass on a sunny day. I inhale a deep breath of cold wind. I see a bunch of fucking trees rising from a green hill into a pristine atmosphere of a golden red sunset while I have a song playing in my mind. And I just know. I know that I live in the most magnificent planet in the entire vast cosmic universe. You think I'm too appreciative? I think you're too fucking apathetic. If I have a soul, my soul has a tag on it. And it says property of Bobby Madden's favorite music, including Solution 45, Born of Osiris, Dragon Force, Silver Sun Pickups, Periphery, the Super Ghouls and Ghosts soundtrack, Twisted, Angels and Airwaves, The Contortionist, Perfume, Oceano, etc. See how fucking random my music taste is? Because I don't fucking limit myself. Don't put a fucking stereotype on me, because it's going to be fucking wrong. You can't define me. I define myself. I own my destiny. I'm not monochromatic mediocrity. I embed my own essence into this world, and that essence would be nothing without my musical divinity. Music adds color to this world. Without it, everything would be white, gray, and black. It makes me happy to sit down and just bump my shit. It completes me. It calls out to me and gives me a fucking reason to breathe. If I were dead, I'd never hear another sound wave or another musical note again. And I'm not ready to abandon this shit. I could never commit suicide because I love the sound of my favorite music too much. Music is my religion, and I harness its sacrosanct essence to give me the strength to live. Listening to music isn't just something I do to pass the time. It's not just a hobby. It's not just my therapy. It's not just my medication. It's not just my happiness. It's my fucking life. Take away my music and you kill me. Take away Dragon Force and you fucking kill me. Laugh at me all you want. I'm the one who's found enlightenment. I'm the one who's found the deepest abysmal extent of bliss and inner peace. Your condemnation means nothing to me. Your sad attempts at ridicule mean nothing to me. I'm the one who transcends the fabric of the galaxy. I don't need drugs when I have periphery. I would happily get tattoos of all my fucking favorite bands all over my fucking body and take their names to my fucking grave. Every band I love is so much more than a band to me. They're like my family. When I'm listening to music, I'm not just listening to sound waves, you know? I'm listening to pure fucking human passion in a tangible, sensible form. You want to know what passion sounds like? Listen to a song. Listen to someone sing or scream their heart out. That's what you'll get. And when I hear someone's passion making an extraordinarily appealing impact, their essence becomes embedded into my heart. When I'm listening to music, my life makes sense. When I'm listening to music, I know what I want to do with my life. I know what I want to do with myself. It brings me such sheer bliss. I almost just want to break down and weep my fucking heart out when I hear something that's beautiful. I know that may sound gay to you, but when I listen to Pulse of the Maggots by Slipknot, I feel like I could just break through a fucking brick wall. I feel like nothing can hurt me. I feel like I'll never be dominated or controlled except by the power of my own will. That one lyric, if I have to give my life, you can have it, just echoes eternally in my mind. Those lyrics. We fight till no one can fight us. We live and no one can stop us. We pull when we're pushed too far. And the advantage is, the bottom line is, we never had to fight in the first place. We only had to spit back at their face. We won't walk alone any longer. What doesn't kill us only makes us stronger. Yeah, I'm just naming random fucking bands and songs here, but I have a diverse motherfucking music taste and an open fucking mind. And I couldn't care less if you don't share my music taste or share my passion for these bands. I guarantee you, I'll have some fucking music playing when I'm on my fucking deathbed. I'm gonna die listening to my favorite bands. I'm gonna make a mix CD of all my favorite songs and just put it on repeat till I fucking die. And after that, I'm gonna go into a coffin with all my fucking favorite bands tatted on my skin. And then I'm gonna take their names into the fucking earth until my flesh gets recycled throughout the earth. Does that seem crazy? Well, sanity is fucking overrated. I know that sounds awfully poetic and ideal, but you can preach to me about the detriment of poetic passion to my lifeless corpse when it has a Silver Sun pickups tattoo across the fucking collarbone. The only reason I don't have any tats right now is because I have no fucking money, and I don't trust any of the local tattoo artists around here. I want to find a highly recommended tattoo artist that's been recognized by more than just the city in which I live. When I put the fate of my exterior into the hands of a stranger, I want to know he's the real deal. I don't think that's too much to ask. Anyway, yeah, music is my oxygen, my aspirations, my paradise. It's my fucking sanctuary. It never judges me. It never tells me I'm unworthy. It always understands me, invigorates me, protects me, and picks me the fuck up when I'm down. And I'll never be ashamed to tell you how much I love Slipknot or Newfound Glory or some random band that you probably don't give two shits in a fuck about. Whenever I'm happy, I always find myself reciting my favorite lyrics in my mind or humming a random song, screaming a random song, or even playing the drums on my chest. That's a sign of happiness for me. Let's see, what else makes me happy? Going to concerts makes me happy. I've been to hundreds upon hundreds in my life, and I'm only going to continue to do so until my death. The rush of seeing my favorite bands in the flesh is the best miracle I could ever experience, especially when I actually have the opportunity to meet the bands. I meet the bands, I tell them how fucking awesome they are, I get their autographs, I take pictures with them, and I have those autographs and pictures until someone comes along and erases them from existence. And even if they do happen to get inadvertently erased from existence, I still possess the memories echoing through my mind perpetually, day by day, giving me the inspiration to live life in happiness. I just look back at all the wonderful times, either in the pictures or in my mind, and think I've been blessed with the quintessence of all these bands who've given me handshakes and embedded their signatures into all these various items. And when I do, I know there's no reason to ever invite sorrow into my heart. Going to shows, throwing down in the pit, meeting random strangers wearing the same shirt as me, seeing the bands, meeting the bands, seeing the singer for Oceania point at me and my friends in the crowd and go, "They are your fucking enemies." Being in an atmosphere of purity and acceptance and magic and fun. It's just everything I could ever imagine heaven being. If heaven exists, it's at a fucking concert. I don't need to die to find heaven because it's right in the confines of a venue and the realm of blasting music and the dominion of social deviants and rejects. I could only fucking dream to play my own concert someday. I will someday. Just gotta get my vocals good enough, and maybe next year, and maybe 10 years from now. But I'm not going to fall into a grave until I see the world from the view of a stage. Let's see, this video isn't just about music. There are other things that bring me happiness. Sitting at the computer and writing makes me happy. Generally speaking, knowing I'm living life the way I want makes me happy. There are things I would change about my life if I could. If I didn't want to change anything, there'd be no point in getting out of bed except to eat, drink, and go to the bathroom. Even though there are things that I want, when I am in the position where I believe I am living my life the way I want, I'm happy. If I ever find myself thinking, I really wish I weren't doing this, or I'd rather be doing something else, I'm not happy. I never want to be in a position where I'm not doing what I want to do. I mean, there are things I have to do that I may not be particularly enthusiastic about, like getting up for work, but that's not the real thing I don't want to do. The real thing I don't want to do is get fired, and that's why I can deal with getting up for work. I don't have a job, by the way. I worked at Mattress Warehouse for a day and a half, but that's neither here nor there. I want to be able to love what I'm doing, and sometimes I can't do that. I love sitting at the computer and writing. And when I'm at the computer sitting and writing, I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing in life. When I'm away from the keyboard, I find myself thinking, I shouldn't be doing this. I need to be at the computer writing down my thoughts. And I don't like it when I'm deprived of doing the things I want to do, like if someone were on the computer and I couldn't get on to start writing. The main thing I'm pertaining to is procrastination. See, I like doing things that bring me pleasure. After I've written something, created something, recorded a video, or accomplished a task, so I can enjoy it with a sense of reward. For example, I play video games in a manner of celebration. I don't want to just sit down and play video games when I have an ocean of ideas just drowning me. I'm not happy if I feel like I'm procrastinating, and the truth is I do procrastinate. I don't play video games to procrastinate, but I do procrastinate in general, and the biggest examples I can think of are watching YouTube videos and watching porn. The first thing I do when I get up is make coffee and watch YouTube videos. I click subscriptions and watch all the new videos that have been uploaded so I can stay involved with the community, but deep down I'm thinking, I need to get the ball rolling and post another video of myself. But I can only post a video when I have a script written and when my family is asleep. I write during the day and I record during the night. If it's night and I have a script written, I'll record a video, but if it's not written, I'll stay up all night and just write. Sometimes I can get distracted from my fucking writing by watching YouTube videos and porn. Sometimes I feel like I fall into temptation way too easily. And if I happen to overcome temptation and write instead of fucking jerking off, I feel powerful and I feel happy. And just like Mister Morgue says, happiness is power. If you overcome a goal, you gain happiness. If you get an A on a test, you overcame an obstacle to achieve that goal, and that makes you happy. I'm happy when I don't fall into temptation. I like watching YouTube videos and watching porn after I record a video, but if I know I still have that shit on the to-do list, I feel like my power is being diminished. I'm happy when I accomplish my writing goals and video goals. Furthermore, I'm happy when nothing deprives me of those goals, like people in my family hogging the computer, getting distracted by YouTube videos, porn, or even girls, and I'm monolithically distracted by girls. I want to know I'm not easily manipulated or suppressed, but at times I feel like I'm going out of orbit. So when I manage to resist temptation and stay on the path of my ambitions, I'm fucking happy. Also, knowing I can overcome my mental disorders makes me happy. I have OCD and I have Tourette's. And when I find myself resisting the urge to wipe off the imaginary dust on my desk, constantly repeat sentences in my mind for minutes on end, or grunt until my gag reflex kicks in, I feel like I'm in power, and therefore I embrace the uttermost extent of happiness. What else? Knowing I have my friends around makes me happy. Knowing I can just call someone up and talk to them anytime I need them makes me happy. Knowing that someone somewhere cares whether or not I'm alive makes me happy. Knowing that nobody I love hates me, ignores me, or wants to forget me makes me happy. I have countless haters, and I have innumerable broken friendships from people deciding I'm not worth their time anymore, but when I still have a select few people who convince me I'm worth their time, I'm happy and I can learn to forget about the people who hope to forget about me like a passing shadow. When I hear people tell me I've inspired them, and when I hear people tell me to never change, that makes me happy. As far as I'm concerned, if I touch one life, the world becomes a better place to be. And if my church is of silver and gold to one person, I've just enveloped myself into a fucking ocean of happiness. If someone tells me I've inspired them, it wouldn't matter if I had the flu, if my parents were shattering shit around the house, if someone was threatening to kill me or whatever. All I need to know is that someone gives a shit. That's good enough for me. Looking the way I want makes me happy too. Feeling like I'm on the right path to looking the way I want makes me happy. I'm not unhappy because I don't have the tattoos I want, but I still have the optimism that I'll eventually acquire all the tattoos I want, and therefore that gives me happiness. Looking at my face and not seeing any really obvious blemishes makes me happy. Having my health makes me happy. Having a good reason to believe I'm not going to die in 5 seconds or 5 days or 5 years makes me happy. Hanging out with my best friends makes me happy. Going to Nag's Head Beach with my cousin K-Mad makes me happy. Looking into the past and seeing a resplendent collection of good memories and ridiculous inside jokes makes me happy. Shit like that. There are more things in life that bring me happiness than pleasure. They aren't the same thing. If I have an orgasm when there's shit in my mind pulling at my fucking conscience, that orgasm isn't going to do shit. It really isn't. Look at your life and ask yourself if you're who you want to be. If not, ask yourself why that is. Isolate the shit that's poisoning your mind so you can find an antidote. You know how when you're sick, things have a funny taste? You ever had tonsillitis? When you have tonsillitis, everything tastes like vomit. No exaggeration. It sucks more than anything in the world. If you're not happy, what's pleasurable won't be pleasurable to you. If you have tonsillitis, even your favorite foods will taste like shit. Your depression and your grievances are the tonsillitis fucking with your taste buds. Solve your problems, or else your orgasms will be joyless and your favorite foods will be tasteless. Pleasure is a temporary physical, mental, or emotional stimulus that feels good. Happiness is also temporary, and it's also something that feels good. The only difference is that whatever makes you happy will leave you with a deep, sincere satisfaction with life. I love Monster energy drinks, and they're quite pleasurable to drink, but if something is tormenting me, it won't even matter. That fucking Monster will be tasteless to me. Those things are delicious, but they won't make me happy. Next time you want to do something, ask yourself if it'll make you happy. If you want to go smoke weed, are you going to look at yourself in the mirror when you sober up and say to your reflection that it really made your life better? What makes you happy with your life? Now, you don't have to reach an absolute goal to be happy. Just being on the journey can do that. Are you going to be depressed because your goal is to be a doctor and you're not a doctor? No. Be happy if you're studying medicine. Be happy if you're in medical school. Be happy if you're making YouTube videos about your medical fields of interest. Love the journey. What are you absolutely passionate about? That's the shit that's going to make you happy. Much motherfucking wicked clown love to all the lows and lets. I am the Dark Lord MassaCreature. Stick to your guns, light your own path, and biohazard for fucking life.